Hey guys, good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. So guys, I stumbled across an interesting article in the Jamaica Observer, right? And it appears to me that a major media platform is throwing their support behind Theodore Tappa Whitmore. Now, why I say that is that it is very interesting that when I read this article, or when you read articles in general, it's a very interesting piece. When you read articles in general, normally you see the journalists and contact information for the respective journalists who wrote the piece, right? Normally an email address. It's very important. It's very interesting rather to me that I am looking at this particular piece in the Observer and I don't see any name of anybody and I don't see any contact information of the respective journalists who wrote this. So that's the first thing that struck me as a little bit interesting, right? And I'm going to point to other things as well. Why I am saying that it appears as if the Observer is backing Theodore Tappa Whitmore, right? It appears to me anyway, in my opinion, right? I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna read some of the article and tell me, you guys can hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think, right? Sacking Mr. Whitmore would be a bad idea at this time. No journalists, no name of no journalists, right? Those who follow football are accustomed to coaches losing their job with immediate effect, be it at top professional clubs or the international level. At the time of writing, this newspaper, that's the first indication, this newspaper had heard no confirmation of persistent reports that Mr. Whitmore, head coach of the Reggae Boyz, is close to being dismissed. We heard that the Jamaica Football Federation's technical committee met following the Reggae Boyz battling 1-1 draw with the United States in their CONCACAF World Cup qualifier. We are aware, not I am aware, we are aware. Very important to know, not I, but we are aware that it is becoming increasingly difficult for Jamaica, currently 6th with just 7 points after 8 games, to make it to next year's FIFA World Cup in Qatar. You don't say. You don't say. Again, we, not I, but we disagree with any suggestion that Mr. Whitmore's dismissal would be appropriate at this time. Is the Observer trying to use their position of power to sway the JFF board not to sack head coach Theodore Whitmore? I don't know. I'm just asking. Very interesting article. After a poor start to their campaign with a fighting away defeat to Mexico in that country and a horrible performance losing 3-0 to Panama in Kingston, the Reggae Boyz have improved markedly. Anyways, their 2-0 away win against Honduras in October and a 1-1 draw in San Salvador late last week suggested a team on the improve. Okay, I mean, those performances, in my opinion, were not very good performances against the poorer teams in CONCACAF. But anyways, more to the point, the Jamaicans were impressive against the highly talented Americans on Tuesday night. Most experts agree that the Reggae Boyz were denied a potential winner because of an officiating error. Okay, cool. Available. And to be fair, in my humble opinion, we were second best in that game as well. That's in my opinion. Yes, improved performance, but still second best in my opinion. Available evidence suggests that the team is gelling under Mr. Whitmore's guidance with just 6 qualifiers remaining. We think it would be potentially self-defeating to ask anyone else to take over right now. But with the greatest of respect to the gaffer, I think it would be self-defeating for us to continue with him. Right? We're not getting to Qatar with him. That I am sure. That I am sure. We urge, we know, not I know, suggested the word we is suggesting a collective. We urge the JFF executive to reject any recommendation for the coach's dismissal at this time. Right? Interesting stuff. The situation means that for the Reggae Boyz to have a realistic chance of qualifying, we will have to win most of their remaining 6 games. They must strive not to lose any at this. At the same time, the hope is that other results involving rivals end up favoring Jamaica. People, I don't see the current head coach winning most of our remaining games. I humbly suggest that we roll the dice. We can't do any worse right now, in my opinion. The good news is that 4 of Jamaica's remaining games are at home, including against Mexico in late January. Relaxation of COVID-19 restrictions allows small number of fans to enter the stadium for the fascinating tussle against the USA. Going forward, the hope will be that there will be much larger crowds to provide that celebrated 12th man. The Reggae Boyz need to know that Jamaicans have their back. Jamaicans have the back of the Reggae Boyz, right? The coach does not have the back of the fans. The coach does not have the backing of Jamaicans. Just because we criticize the coach and just because we call for the coach's dismissal, that don't mean that we don't support the boys. Of course we support the boys, right? But, with the greatest of respect to the legend that is Theodore Tappa Whitmore, many believe that we need to roll the dice and try something new, try something to salvage our campaign, because we just don't feel the current head coach is good enough to take us to Qatar. I mean, that's obvious to most. It's certainly very obvious to me. One of the things that also surprised me was Ravel Morrison throwing his support behind the coach rather. That kind of surprised me. Some people suggested that because reports of a falling out with the two earlier on in the campaign, alleged falling out, Ravel is trying to regain the confidence of the coach just in case he stays on, right? We noticed that Ravel didn't start any of the games in the last round. I don't know, but, I found it a little bit interesting as well that a player, in my opinion, that it's not one of the players that you would think would need to throw his support behind Tappa, in my opinion, given the fact that regardless of who the coach is, it's clear to most that Ravel is the best midfielder Jamaica currently has, right? He should feature heavily under any coach, regardless of who the coach is. So that's a little bit surprising to me personally. But I just found this whole article very interesting, right? That a major publication appears to be throwing their support and trying to rally, use its position and its status and its influence to rally the JFF and urge the JFF not to dismiss the current head coach, right? It appears to me, in my humble opinion, I'm not saying that is actually the case. I'm just saying that I don't see the name. I'm looking and I don't see the name of a journalist, right? And I don't see any contact information for a journalist who could have wrote this thing. I'm looking and I'm not seeing it, right? And I looked multiple times before starting this particular video. I just want to show this very nice picture before we leave out of here. Show of love. Jamaican footballer Leon Bailey gives a kiss to his girlfriend Stephanie Hope, while Alexis Nunes, ESPN journalist, is excited to see Bailey's son Leo Cristiano after the World Cup qualifier against the USA Tuesday at the stadium. It's the first I'm seeing this picture, and I beat Bailey the other day. It was a terrible performance in my opinion at the National Stadium against the US, and he had no excuse, in my humble opinion. He wasn't being double teamed, and he would have gotten the ball in the final third in that particular game on far more occasions than he had in previous games, got it in far more dangerous positions that he would have had in previous games in the qualifiers, and had time and space, in my humble opinion. Not even the simple things he was getting right a lot of the times, a lot of passes off, etc. So we beat him, right? But this is a nice picture. It's good to see when the Reggae Boyz, are doing the right thing. Leon Bailey here being a father, being a good partner, showing love to his family at the National Stadium, a show of public of affection to the family. It's just is a nice thing to see. It's a nice thing to see, and we have to big up the baller for this particular picture that we are seeing on the screen. It is certainly a good look to see our Reggae Boyz doing the right thing and stepping up and playing an important and major role in one of the most important institutions in our society, being the family. So guys, that's my 2 cents. We'll leave you with that nice picture there of Bailey and his family. Take care, stay safe, and until next time.